Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Nurse Ivory, also known as Louisiana Cannabis Nurse Navigator, coming to you today to talk about normal, NORML. So, if you watched our last video, we did an overview of Congress.gov. So, Congress.gov is a bill tracker. So, it allowed us to go in there and just search several different cannabis related bills that are currently sitting in the U.S. House as well as the U.S. Senate. And we were able to compare and contrast those bills and just identify trends in the bills. So then the next thing is, where do we go from there? So in particularly about the MORE Act, we want to be able to act on the MORE Act because by all accounts, we're expecting for this bill to come before the House floor sometime next month. Um, so we need to make sure that the MORE Act has the support that it needs. So that's why we utilized Congress.gov to kind of help us compare and contrast bills. And now we will go to NORML, which is a very wonderful site to go into to take action. So today we'll do a very brief overview of normal.org just to get you to see how you can very easily reach out to your U.S. Senator and U.S. Congressman to let them know that you support the MORE Act and you want them to know that as their constituent that you support the MORE Act. So let's head over there. Let's see if I can bring my screen up. So here is normal. And so you have all these different tabs up here. And of course, you can play with the site. But one of the things that I like to go to is I'm usually here because I'm trying to take action, which means that I'm trying to reach out to my U.S. legislator. So if you go right here to take action, they have a handy dandy tab here, right here for the MORE Act. So you just can simply click on that tab and it will give you just a brief overview of what the MORE Act is, what's in it, and basically just an overview of the MORE Act. That's what I like about it. So all of that information is here. So if you're speaking with someone or if you want to give them some credible information about the MORE Act, this is a great site to go into, and you could just send them the link, and it's all right there with good information. Okay, so the other thing is to send a letter to your member of Congress. Simply, all you have to do is put in your name, basically your demographic information, your name, your email, and your address. You probably ask, well, why do they need all of that information? Well, you're sending them, you're giving them your email because hopefully you're hoping that they respond back to you by email. And your address is important as well because I'm sure on their end, they're tracking their constituents. So once you put in your zip code, your address in full, the next screen that you would get from normal is it will already populate your Congress, your U.S. senators and your U.S. representatives. So even though you should know that already, if you don't know who your U.S. congressmen or your senators are, no problems because it will populate it for you. So once you key in all of your information, all you do is go down and click start writing. And once you click start writing, a sample letter or a form letter will come up. It allows you to actually edit the letter as well. So that's another feature that I like. I won't go into that because I've already um, did that information and written to my Congress, my members of Congress. But it's a brief form letter and it allows you to edit. And all you have to do is simply click send and it's done. Like literally, you can have this done in less than 5 minutes. That is one of the best way I can think of that we can really truly be advocates, even during the pandemic. You can do this just using your fingertips right at home. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, so there are other, before we leave off this site, there are other little things on this site. By all means, get on here and play on this site because there's so much information on here. It gives you direct information about the election. It tells you what states has something on the ballot because there are a lot of states where cannabis is on the ballot. So it breaks all of that down. It tells you your state laws. That's another something that I like about it. And it gives you the chapters. So if it allows you to search to see if there's a chapter, a normal chapter in your area. And by all means, I'm not an affiliate of normal. However, I support them. And if I say if they have a chapter in your area, by all means, consider becoming a member of that chapter so that you can stay informed. So that's it for right now with normal. I've showed you just a brief overview of the site and more importantly, how to submit a letter to your congressman. And I wanted to share with you my letter, if I can, that I received from my congressman. Let me see if I can play with this and bring it up. Okay. So here, hopefully this is on your screen. I submitted my letter and I got 2 out of 3 responses. But what's interesting is the response that I was really looking for from my senator who is up for reelection has not responded to me. So I have to find out another way that I can reach out to my congressman once they don't respond back to me by normal.org. But I did get a response from Congressman Mike Johnson, and I did get a response from Senator John Kennedy. So I'm going to share these with you just to show you the value um, of taking 5 minutes to submitting a letter. Because the letters, if you're able to get a response from your congressman, it kind of gives you a glimpse of how they're thinking. And so that's important to know too, just to know if we have support for a bill or if we don't, or if we got more work to do. So Congressman Mike Johnson pretty much said, in short, and I know it's small, you guys probably can't see it. I had to squeeze it on here. Oops. But he pretty much said that, as you may know, the FDA has conducted extensive research into the medicinal benefits marijuana could provide and concluded that it is not currently suitable for general medicinal use. So pretty much he didn't answer the question about do you support the MORE Act or not? But from reading his response, I can derive at the conclusion that he doesn't support um, the MORE Act. So that's that with Mike Johnson. We know we have some more work to do with him. With Senator John Kennedy, his response was a little bit more interesting. He did the same by not addressing the MORE Act head on. He didn't say yay or nay, but basically, based on some of his writing, I can derive at the conclusion that he does not support the MORE Act. But he did give an interesting detail about something else, which basically puts that on my radar that I need to be watching for. So in his letter, if I can pull this up, he says, as your U.S. Senator, my first and foremost responsibility when considering drug related proposals is to protect our families from the devastating effects of drug abuse. He said several legislative items have been introduced this Congress that would alter marijuana policy. For instance, one recent proposal would allow Veterans Affairs medical providers to discuss the option of medical marijuana with disabled veterans. So I thought that was interesting because even though he didn't answer the question, like I said, about the MORE Act, he pretty much told me that that there are some proposals in the works because I don't think I remember seeing anything on congress.gov, the bill tracker site. But this is cluing me in that I do need to go back to the bill tracker site to see if there's anything on there. But it sounds like it's a proposal, so it must not be a bill that has come forth yet. But that kind of clues me in to be out on the lookout for it. So with that being said, like I said, it's very important to write a letter because you want a response, and then once you get a response, it tells you how your congressman or your senator is thinking, and that's very important as we try to move forward and get a very historical vote on this MORE Act. So that's that in a nutshell, you guys. What's next? My next video, I am working on talking about the Supreme Court. because if you guys have been paying attention to the news, I believe starting tomorrow is are the hearings for the next Supreme Court nominee. And there is a very important case that has been presented before the Supreme Court that's involving cannabis and federal cannabis legalization. So that's something that I'm working on, and hopefully that will be the next video that I present to you. So please, by all means, follow me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I put these, I'm not sure where you guys are watching this from, but I usually put all these videos on YouTube. So please follow me at Nurse Ivory. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell for the notification for whenever I post a video. I'm also on Twitter at Nurse Ivory. And I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at LA County Nurse Navigator. I am also, guys, the co founder for Cannabis Nurses of Color. So if that's something of interest, we have a Facebook and a Instagram page, and we're pretty much are a group of nurses of color, as it say, with the interest in cannabis medicine. So our main goals are education and advocacy, and really destigmatizing cannabis because we just strongly believe that cannabis is medicine. So by all means, we ask that you please like our page. And I thank you guys for following me and coming and participating on today. And I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Talk soon.